Hey, welcome. If you've ever felt that little pang of guilt after buying a coffee or a book, then this is for you. We are about to completely flip the script on traditional budgeting and dive into a system that's built not for restriction, but for guilt-free spending on the things you actually truly love.
I mean, really think about it. Have you ever bought a ticket to a movie or grabbed dinner with friends and had that little voice in your head going, should I really be spending money on this right now? It's a feeling almost all of us know, and frankly, it's exhausting.
Well, here's a thought. What if I told you that guilt, it isn't your fault? What if the real problem is the financial advice you've been fed your whole life? You know, the advice that's all about restriction and making you feel bad about every single dollar you spend? There is a much, much better way to think about this.
And to really get this new approach, we have to meet the guy behind it all, Ramit Sethi. And you should think of him less like a traditional, stuffy financial advisor and more like a tough love mentor who's here to basically challenge everything you thought you knew about your money.
Ramit's whole philosophy is pretty radical, honestly. He's famous for telling people to stop obsessing over the small stuff, like the cost of a latte. He argues, pretty convincingly, that trying to cut back on the tiny things you enjoy is just a losing game. Instead, he wants you to pour all that energy into what he calls big wins. These are the high-impact moves that will actually change your financial future.
So, if you're not cutting out lattes, what in the world are you supposed to be doing? Well, you're creating what he calls a conscious spending plan. And no, this is not a budget. In fact, he calls it the anti-budget because its goal isn't to restrict you, it's to empower you. And what I absolutely love about this is the framing. It's not about what you can't have. It's a proactive system where you get to decide, way ahead of time, what really, truly matters to you. The whole key is to be intentional with your money, not just reactive to every little expense.
And this quote just nails the core idea perfectly. Do you love to travel? Awesome. Go all out. Spend big. But maybe you couldn't care less about having the newest phone or designer clothes? Perfect. Cut those costs mercilessly. It's all about making conscious trade-offs, not about depriving yourself across the board.
Okay, to see this in action, Ramit tells his great story about a friend who spends $5,000 a year on designer shoes. Now, I know your first reaction is probably shock, right? How could that possibly be a financially responsible thing to do? Well, here's the secret. It's okay, because she can afford it. She's not going into debt for it. Her retirement is being funded automatically. All her bills are paid on time, and her big savings goals are being met. That $5,000 is a conscious, deliberate choice, and it's funded by cutting back mercilessly somewhere else she doesn't care about. It is a completely guilt-free trade-off. So, how do you get to that point? You get there with one of the most powerful tools in personal finance, automation. This is the engine that makes the whole conscious spending plan work. It's the set it and forget it system that does all the heavy lifting for you so you don't have to.
You see, Ramit argues that most of us know we should be saving and investing more. The problem isn't a lack of knowledge, it's inertia. It's just our natural human tendency to put things off until tomorrow. Our brains get tired of making decisions. So automation brilliantly bypasses all of that by making the right choice the default choice. It takes your own unreliable willpower completely out of the equation.
So, let's walk through how this works. Picture this. Your paycheck lands in your checking account. Then, before you can even think about it, money is automatically sent to your retirement account. Then it's automatically sent to your savings goals. Then automatically to your investment accounts. And the money that's left over, that is yours to spend 100% guilt-free on whatever you love. And this is just so powerful, isn't it? It's not about finding the perfect stock or trying to time the market. It's about setting up a simple, good enough system that just runs on its own. Just getting started, that is the real big win. And that idea of getting started leads us right to the final and maybe most important piece of the puzzle, shifting your focus away from saving pennies and toward making these high-impact moves. This is what it means to have a big wins mindset.
This table just lays it out so clearly. Instead of spending your energy trying to save $3 on a coffee, you spend that same energy preparing to negotiate a $5,000 raise. Instead of fearing credit cards, you use them as a tool for rewards and building credit. You stop waiting for the perfect time, and you just start automating. It's a huge shift from a defensive scarcity mindset to an offensive, abundant one.
Look at it this way. You can spend your entire life asking yourself $3 questions, which have an incredibly tiny impact. Or you can start asking yourself $30,000 questions. How can I earn more money? How can I automate my investments to grow my wealth? Those are the questions that actually change your life. That is a big win.
So we've got the system and we've got the mindset. But why? What's the end goal of all this automation and conscious spending? Well, it's all about one thing, funding what Ramit Sethi calls your rich life. And honestly, this is the most important part of the whole thing. A rich life is not about having a mansion or a private jet, unless, that's your thing. It's about you defining for yourself what wealth actually means. It's about using money as a tool to build the specific life that you truly desire.
Your rich life might be flying business class on every single trip, but you know what? It could also be the freedom to pick your kids up from school every single afternoon. It could be ordering appetizers at a restaurant without even glancing at the price, or it could just be the simple peace of mind of knowing that an unexpected $1,000 bill won't completely break you.
So here's the bottom line. This entire system, the automation, the conscious spending, the big wins, it's not about just hoarding a pile of money. It is a machine that is designed for one single purpose, to finance your personal, unique version of a rich life. Which really just leaves us with one last crucial question. This isn't about what Ramit Sethi thinks, or what I think, or what anyone else thinks. It's all about you. So take a second and really think about it. What does your rich life actually look like? What are you working towards? Because answering that question, that is the very first step to making it a reality.